Welcome to the Nappy Glamour podcast. This is our very first episode. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to actually be sitting down, chatting with you all about all things Black culture, all things beauty, and all the colorful places in between. I am your host, Lex, and again, I'm just so excited to be here. I can't tell you how long it took for me to actually sit down and be like, you know what, girl, it's time to share thoughts, processes, all this sort of stuff with audiences that care about the things that you care about. And what is it that I care about, ladies and gentlemen? I care about us, I care about our culture, and I care about how our culture influences the larger world in terms of, again, pop culture, policy, what's considered beautiful, what's considered cool. I think all of you, if you've made it here to listen to this podcast, also realize that Black culture has an amazing and undeniable influence on all the things that we see today, especially here in American culture. So again, welcome to Nappy Glamour, our very first episode 1, season 1, if you will. So if you're listening right now, it's no mistake that you are here listening with me. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. If you're on the train, which is often where I listen to my podcast, go ahead and find a comfy seat as we discuss some culture topics that I think are going to be super relevant this week. Have you guys heard about what is going on with DevaCurl? If you are a natural hair girl like myself, then you recognize DevaCurl as one of those brands that kind of pushed and helped the natural hair movement to become a wider conversation for those who did not necessarily have natural African Blackish hair. So we're thinking 3A, 3B, 4C curl patterns. But DevaCurl opened up the natural hair, curly hair conversation for any female or persons really who decided that they think their hair is curly. So this was not race specific, as often the natural hair care movement is to African American women or women of African descent. It opened up the conversation for, again, anyone who has a curly or wavy curl pattern. Because of that, DevaCurl became increasingly popular. They are sold primarily in Sephora stores and on DevaCurl.com, of course. And DevaCurl really had, and still to this day, obviously has an army of really strong, committed supporters. Their founder was really great about making DevaCurl not only a product, but a lifestyle. There are DevaCurl salons where you can get that famous Diva cut. They are hair care specialists who specialize in only curly hair done with DevaCurl products in their method. So again, if you're in the natural hair community, then you definitely know all about DevaCurl. Well, in the last week or so, there has been some huge controversy going on primarily on social media about the potency and safety of their products, specifically the no poo line. So DevaCurl has a whole line of products made for different type of curl types, but their no poo line specifically was curated to help women maintain the juiciness, moisture in the curl, keeping it cleansed but still moisturized and very beautiful. That product specifically came out when the whole conversations about whether or not shampoo was healthy came to the forefront. Again, if you are a natural girl who's been natural for a minute, then you know when this conversation happened. Everybody was like, shampoo is a no-go, sis. We're not shampooing anymore. We're cleansing, we're co-washing, we're doing all those sorts of things. So DevaCurl's response to that shift in the market was their no poo line. So there are, again, individuals who have been working with DevaCurl products for years and years and years and years. And recently, in the last couple of weeks, they have been coming out, some individuals, saying that this particular line in combination with other DevaCurl products is causing hair loss, is causing itchiness of the scalp, extreme dandruff. The most scary thing about those claims is, of course, the hair loss. If you are on a woman who is on a natural hair journey, a natural hair care journey, then the idea of your hair falling out because of products that you're using that are supposed to be healthy for your hair is crazy. It's absolutely insane. So one of the main influencers in the social media space who has been talking about this is, let me pull up her name because I always mispronounce it. But I watched her video and it actually kind of broke my heart. If you know anyone who really cares about their hair and cares about the health of their hair, to have them show pictures of how their hair has been damaged using product is absolutely heartbreaking. But her name is Aisha Malik. She is a former DevaCurl ambassador, and she took to YouTube to say, hey guys, I am no longer supporting DevaCurl products. I have used their products for 6 years on end, and it's no longer working for me for these reasons. My hair used to be healthy. She throws in befores and afters, and it is actually pretty shocking to see that her curl pattern has loosened over time. She compares it to having a light relaxer, believe it or not. And she even apologized to her followers, saying, hey, if you bought DevaCurl products because of me and my endorsement, I am so sorry, and to please not use them anymore. Well, surprisingly enough, or maybe not surprisingly enough, if you are someone who has used DevaCurl and had these similar results, tons of individuals came out as well on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all over saying, hey, me too, which is absolutely insane. So there is currently an investigation for a class action lawsuit against DevaCurl, specifically for the No Poo line, saying that it causes the hair loss, the extreme damage, and all those crazy things. So I think for us as consumers, it's so important to realize that at the end of the day, our hair care journey is just that. It is our journey. We have to be super careful about the products that we throw into our routine. I know that as we are deciding what works and what doesn't work for us, we're trying all sorts of things, but being really hypersensitive to what works and what doesn't work for our hair. And also, guys, at the end of the day, being loyal to a brand is amazing. If there are products there that work for you that are absolutely fantastic, great, keep using them. But also sometimes trends and hype are just that, trends and hype. There can be products that work for somebody else's hair that don't work for yours. There may be a wave of individuals who try products that work for them that don't work for you, and that's cool too. I personally never jumped on the DevaCurl train, but that's purely because of the price point. If you know anything about DevaCurl, it's really like a prestige line of hair care. So you're talking like $20 for shampoo. And I'm not about that life. I will stick to something that's a little less expensive, only because I have 3C4, a thick hair, and I go through product so quickly. So me spending that much on a bottle of conditioner or a bottle of shampoo wouldn't work for me. And also, honestly, when I looked at DevaCurl's marketing and the individuals that they were showcasing as the premier or ideal curl type for their product, I was not that girl. I think it was in recent years that really started throwing in girls in the 4 category and speaking to how their thicker formulas could work for them. But by then, I had already been dedicated to what I'd been dedicated to, and I was not really turning back. But I say all this to say that, again, we have to really be serious about keeping these brands accountable for the products that they're giving us, especially when it comes to things that are so sensitive and hyper-focused in our community, like the health of hair. Women want to have beautiful, healthy heads of hair, and being dedicated to a brand that is supposed to give you that, we need to keep these brands accountable. And one thing that we can do to just keep ourselves kind of ahead of the curve is to look at the back of the bottle, old school, and look at the products. If there are 16-letter words on the back of those bottles, cool, because sometimes chemicals and hair products help to stabilize it and keep it shelf safe and blah, 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 blah. But doing a quick little research on your Googles is never going to hurt, right? Deciding what is actually in this. Everyone says it's dope and it's amazing, but what is actually in this product? Doing the due diligence. And there was an app that came up in conversations. It is the Think Dirty app. And this app is one where you can type in your product, whatever it is. It could be a food product, it could be a skincare product, hair care product, whatever. And it will kick out all the ingredients that are potentially unsafe or harmful. So I think that's something that we can all just have on our phones, especially when it comes to our hair care and the things that we're ingesting. Like, hey, what is actually in this? Is there something in here that I should be kind of wary of? So yes, just a tip for you. And then additionally, guys, price does not always equal quality. Now, again, all these statements, claims against DevaCurl are all alleged. So, hey, who am I to say whether or not it's true? Again, I'm not the girl who is buying the products. But overall, when we're looking at things that work best for us, that work best for our curly and natural hair types, price doesn't always equal quality. I think at the end of the day, you have to know what works for you and your hair. And if it just happens to be a bottle of something that you find at Walmart, go for it. Doesn't mean that that product is any less potent or works for you any less than something more expensive. Not at all. So don't always fall for the hype, guys. That's what I say about that. But I will keep you guys abreast on what is happening with this DevaCurl situation because I think it's so interesting. A brand as large as DevaCurl is coming against some real fire for some long time consumers. And also, if you want to check this out for yourself, if you go on Sephora.com, a lot of reviews started trickling in about 5 months ago about the product and things that were happening to the scalp and hair. And also, if you are one of these consumers who are hearing this and like, dang, yo, I have been using DevaCurl products and I think something is going on with my hair, do your research. There is, again, an investigation going on. If you want to contribute your time and thoughts to that, please do. But I would encourage you guys to go to YouTube, literally type in DevaCurl, and the first couple YouTube videos that are popping up now about the controversy. Be educated, get to know what products you are using, and just be safe out here, guys, because hair matters, you know? Hair and the health of your body overall matters. So another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is a topic that I think leans more to our Black and brown sisters and brothers, is the Super Bowl halftime show. How many of you guys actually saw the halftime show? I didn't. Okay, I don't have cable. I have the good Netflix, the good Hulu, and the good HBO Now. The apps, sis. I have the apps. However, I was able to use my mother's cable subscription to look and see a little bit of the end of the Super Bowl. I missed the halftime show entirely because it happened on a Sunday, and by the time Sundays come around, those are my days to like relax and get myself ready for the Monday. So I caught the end of it. But then when I woke up that next morning, after I'd done all my good preparation for the day and I was on the train, I saw that everybody was talking about the halftime show. And I was like, okay, because truth be told, I didn't even know who was performing. When I found out it was J.Lo and Shakira, I got a little bit hyped because I personally was a big fan of Shakira when she first made her transition over to the United States. And in terms of the music industry, she had been huge in South America for a while. But by the time she made the transition to the States music scene, I hate to tell y'all how old I was at the time, but maybe like 9 or 10 or something like that. So I'm familiar with Shakira. Everybody's familiar with J.Lo. And I was hyped for it. The same way, almost adjacent to how hype I was when Beyonce was announced doing the Super Bowl. Now listen, when Beyonce was doing the Super Bowl, I was there. I don't know how I saw it, but I saw it live, okay? So I wasn't as hyped for Shakira and J.Lo, but knowing that women of color were being featured on a platform this large. It's in Miami, Florida, which is really like a Latin Hispanic hub, and that kind of southeast region of the United States. I was really like excited for it. It made sense to me. The culture was there. Those ladies are huge forces in the Latinx community, so I thought it was really dope. But then I began to see some think pieces, and once the think pieces start rolling in, you knew something happened about whether or not their performance was too sexy or over-sexualized for the halftime show and all this kind of stuff. And it seemed like a lot of that criticism were coming from individuals outside of the community. And it was so interesting to me because in the way that Beyonce was criticized for her performance at the Super Bowl being too black. Y'all remember that performance was blackity black, black, black. Like it was Black Panther inspired. There was natural hair. Like it was absolutely amazing and empowering for our community. I feel like, and I could be wrong because I'm not part of the Latinx community, but that same sense of pride and heritage and really emotional connection to the performance probably happened to a lot of individuals within that community. And they came, they're facing a lot of that same criticism in terms of, was it overly this, was it overly that? And she had her body out and what kind of dancing, what they're doing. And it really made me think that sometimes we have to clap for other people that aren't necessarily part of our community and let other people have their moment, even if we don't understand what that is. And what I mean by that is Again, I'm not part of the Latinx community, but I know who Shakira is. I know who J.Lo is. And I could appreciate their performance for what it was. Entertainment. At the end of the day, it really is just entertainment. And within the performance, from what I read and what I heard from other members of the community, is that there were some moments in there that were a little political, and they were able to use their platform to speak a message of unity for the community, strength, empowerment. I thought it was beautiful. So even me, I can say that it was dope. I enjoyed it. And I think when it comes to people of color, we oftentimes have each other's backs. I am an African American woman, yet I can see the beauty in what was done in the Super Bowl. And I'm not sure how easy it is for people who aren't people of color to understand that it doesn't always have to be a moment for you for it to be a win. Even if you aren't a person of color, to see two women on a platform like the Super Bowl platform taking it over and seeing the young girls who are dancing too. J.Lo brought her young daughter. If nothing else, the women empowerment piece I thought was really dope, even outside of the color of their skin. So I think as we're having conversations about, like, was it over sexualized? Nah, because if you look at football and the halftime presentations and the uniforms that the cheerleaders wear, it's no different than what you saw on the halftime stage. I think we oftentimes, not us, but other people outside of the community, like to police women of color in their bodies, what is considered appropriate for us, without truly understanding our culture, truly understanding how important certain types of dress and certain dance movements and certain things really mean to us. So again, if it's not your space, and it's not, you don't feel like you connect with it, you can kind of see that it's a win for somebody somewhere. And so, what do you guys think about that? I personally enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about it, and whether or not you are part of that community, the Latinx community, if you're African American, whatever community. Did you see those two women killing it on stage and absolutely love it? Because that's exactly what I thought. And I expect to see even more. I totally forgot that J.Lo was 50 years old, you guys. 50 years old. And Shakira is 43. Now listen, if I look anything like Jennifer Lopez when I'm 50 years old, God had done me a solid, okay? So the fact that she was up there dancing, holding her thighs together tight on that pole and just making it look like pure art, pure artistry was on that stage, if you ask me. And Shakira, oh my goodness, the belly dancing is still fire. I still can't do it, but sis is 43, a mother of two, I believe, which just goes to show you that women are incredibly powerful, incredibly influential, and I was just amazed at the whole thing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I am inspired. Now, am I inspired to go and put in a one piece and some heels and do all of that? No, I'm not, but I am empowered as a woman to know that age is just a number, that taking care of yourself and really being true to who you are is the most powerful thing you could possibly do. So, all right, we are going to lean right into my obsessions for the week. So this is the segment of the podcast where I chat about things that I am absolutely obsessed with. They could be beauty things, they could be clothing things. More than likely, they'll be beauty things. And this week, I wanted to share with you guys some moisturizing tools and tips, okay? I live in the New York City area. I was born and raised in Florida, which is a hot, muggy swampland, if you will. So this idea of having dry skin or not having a lot of moisture never really crossed my mind. Truth be told, I could leave the house in Florida without any type of lotion and still be all right. You know what I mean? I'd be a little ashy, but not extreme ashy. As of late, in this New York winter that we're experiencing right now, my skin has been the driest it has ever been my entire life. And it is kind of scary because I'm not used to it just being all like like casty white and crackling and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, oh no, I got to get this together. I have to get a routine that really moisturizes my entire body, my legs, my face especially. It's getting all these left and right hooks from the wind whenever I leave the house. Like, how do I keep myself together? So I stumbled upon a couple of things that I have been using for the last 2 months that I absolutely love. So we'll start from the bottom, from the legs, and work our way up to the face. The first thing that I stumbled upon was for my legs and my body, really. And it's the Paula's Choice Weightless Body Treatment 2% BHA. So I am used to having just normal lotions that you buy from Target, Walmart, wherever, like your St. Ives, your Aveeno, that kind of stuff. And while those products are great, the one thing that I noticed is that I would place those lotions onto my body and they didn't really seem to be absorbing any of it. And that's when I realized that not only did I need to start exfoliating more in the shower, but that whatever sort of moisturizers I was putting on my skin also were working to get rid of the dead skin cells on top so that whatever I'm putting on top can actually get in and do its job. The one thing about this weightless body treatment is that the 2% BHA is just a fancy word for salicylic acid. And salicylic acid is really an exfoliator, an acidic exfoliator. This also includes antioxidants for the skin, so while it's exfoliating your skin really gently, it's replenishing it with all the nutrients that you need to have healthy skin. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. A 7-ounce bottle of this is going to run you about $30, okay? So I do not use this every day. I use this about twice a week in rotation with my normal lotion. It's currently the St. Ives. Ooh, I need to have it in front of me, guys. But the St. Ives collagen booster is like the white bottle with the blue label. I will mention it to you in the next podcast. But that, in combination with this, has done some amazing things for my skin. I find that I am moisturized throughout the day, and I really do think it's also making a difference in the appearance of my skin. So not only is it glowy, but it's also evening out a little bit. I'm one of those girls who deals with hyperpigmentation. An ant could bite me on my ankle and it ends up being a huge dark spot for like 5 months. So this product is actually working to help some of that. So I absolutely love it. So let's work our way up to the neck facial area. During the day, I try to keep my makeup pretty light. Most days, I actually don't wear any type of foundation or anything. So the health of my skin is like super, super important because I need it to be glowing. I need it to be right. And lately, it's just been dry. Again, this winter weather is nobody's friend at all. So what I have been doing is using my oil-free moisturizer sensitive formula from Neutrogena. This is an oldie but a goodie for me. I use it because it's inexpensive and it gets the job done. But in order to kind of amplify it just a little bit and get an extra boost of moisture and hyperpigmentation dark spot fighting treatment, I have thrown into this The Ordinary's Ascorbic Acid 8% plus 2% alpha arbutin. And what I like about this is that it's inexpensive. Anything that you get from The Ordinary is going to be inexpensive and you get large quantities of it. And this particular product is just a fancy vitamin C. If you know anything about vitamin C, it is known for helping to boost the skin's collagen-producing properties, even out skin tone over time, help to reduce the appearance of dark circles and dots, which is what I struggle with consistently. So what I do is I take this, it comes in like a dark bottle to protect it from sunlight, because the one thing about vitamin C is that once it comes in contact with sunlight, it starts to deteriorate a bit. So it comes with a little dropper on top. I'll pump out 2 pumps of my oil-free moisturizer from Neutrogena, add in a pump or 2 of The Ordinary Ascorbic Acid Alpha Arbutin, mix it together on top of my palm, and literally just put it on my face. I look kind of glowy and kind of wet for like 5 minutes, but then it just melts into my skin and gives me this wonderful kind of healthy glow that I let sit on my face for a while. If I'm putting on makeup, I'll put it on at least 15 minutes after, so I really give my skin a chance to absorb it. And then on the weekends, that's literally all I'll put on my face, in addition to SPF. I will recommend to you guys that if you are using any sort of acids, like we're talking about acids today, even in the body treatment, especially with this facial combination, that you do put on SPF. Acids are natural exfoliators, so it makes your skin a little more susceptible to sun damage if you are not careful. So don't undo the good that you're trying to do with these sort of products by not protecting your skin with SPF. And in the evening time, after I've come home, my legs are all moisturized, my face is taken care of with the Neutrogena and Ordinary combination. Once I have done my nighttime routine, I've taken off whatever is on my face for the day. I do like to rehydrate with some sort of mask. Now, I'm not a huge fan of masks in the evening time for this reason. Once I put them on, I'm going to lay down in the bed and the pillow is going to get all of what I don't put on my face. So I don't put masks on my face in the evening very often, but about once a week, twice a week, depending on what's going on with the weather and my skin, I go to the Lancome Rose Jelly Mask. It really has a nice gelatin, almost bouncy formula. You don't need much of it. It smells amazing. But you pump out I would say maybe 2 dime size amounts. Does that equal about a quarter size amount into your hand? And I just press it into my skin. Clean skin that's already been cleansed and toned. I just press this into my skin and do whatever else I have to do for the night. I usually give myself an hour after putting this on before I go to bed because, again, it is worthless if I put this on and then roll over in the bed and it's gone off of my face. So this has been an amazing part of my nighttime routine. I wake up in the morning and my face is glowing already. So once I re-cleanse with water in the morning, I really am good to go. I just re-moisturize and I am out the door. So guys, those are my tips for winter moisturization. I would recommend that you guys try any of these out. If you're not a girl who struggles with ashy legs like me, cool. That's fine. You don't have to lean towards the Paula's Choice, but I do think that having some sort of routine to help your skin in the wintertime for us who live in colder climates is so important. Because the one thing about having dry skin in the moment is that it does affect the health of your skin over time. So you may think, oh, I don't really got to worry. My skin's a little dry. I'll worry about it later. I don't have to. But no, getting your skin in a routine where it's constantly getting moisture over time is super important. So I would recommend that you guys take a look at all of these products. They will be on the Nappy Glamour Instagram profile. I will save it in one of the stories, detailed in skincare. And you guys can take a look at them there. All right, so we have made it to the end of the podcast. Yay! The very end of episode 1, season 1 of the Nappy Glamour podcast. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. That means I love you. Love you so much. Whether you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or Anchor, where this podcast is hosted, I surely appreciate you, sis. And bro, for getting to the end. So I want to leave you guys with a message at the end of these podcasts, just because I know that all of us, when we think of beauty, it's kind of superficial. It's like what we put on top of ourselves or the makeup that we choose to wear, the hairstyles that we choose to do. But this podcast is really more about how the beautiful person that you are is reflected in every area of your life. You are a beautiful, kind person when you show up to work. You are a beautiful, encouraging person when you're spending time with your kids. You're a beautiful lover when you're cultivating relationships with your partner. All of us have amazing facets of beauty to us that go beyond what happens on the outside. And to that point, there is this quote that I really love, and it is also hosted on Nappy Glamour on Instagram. And it is, beauty is not the face. Beauty is a light in the heart. And that quote is by Khalil Gibran. He was actually a Lebanese poet. And you guys will come to know that I absolutely love beautiful writing. I absolutely love poetry. And this quote just really resonated with me because In the current social, political, cultural climate that we live in, beauty really is totally superficial. It's superficial. It's how, for women, how our bodies look. For men, your beauty sometimes isn't even tied to your looks. Your beauty is tied to your value, which could be monetary, it could be status or title. But beauty is not really what sits on the outside. Those things are going to come and go with time. You can get your body fixed, you can buy the best weave, you can buy the most expensive makeup, but beauty really is the light within, what radiates beyond you, that glow in your eyes, your passion, your love, your drive. So as we all are encountering what we encounter during the week, you may have a challenging week coming up. You may be going through something that you don't know the way out of yet, or you may just be sitting on some amazing opportunities. Wherever you are right now, just know that your beauty and your value has nothing to do with what's on the outside. Everything that you have going with you starts within, starts in the heart. So I want you guys to know that Nappy Glamour, what we discuss here, it's Black culture. It's all that kind of stuff. It is makeup and it is a little bit of skincare, but it really is getting up to what is at the root of who we are, what makes us beautiful as people. So know that your value, your beauty is not on the outside. It's what you got working on the inside, and that is something that no one can take away from you. Well, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening to Nappy Glamour. If you'd like to follow me or follow us is just me, really. But if you'd like to follow Nappy Glamour, you can find us on Instagram at Nappy Glamour, NappyGlamour. And all of our episodes are going to be hosted on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, you guys. Subscribe so you can be notified when the next one comes out. We are a weekly podcast, so every week you get to hear a little bit more from me. Well, all right, guys, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.